Hello my friends, this is Anna from Luxembourg Journals. As I promised today, I'm going to show you two journals that can go together or separately, however you like. We're in a sort of fantasy world at the moment where anything is possible. And well, I felt that it's the time of the year for a little bit of that. Just before Christmas, a little bit of fantasy doesn't harm anybody, and definitely it's definitely one of my favorite things, like making these fantasy journals. I love them, and I haven't made one for a while. So I'm going back to the Sleeping Beauty roots, and this time with a little bit of a twist, something a little bit different. The last journal I made of Sleeping Beauty was Aurora. It was a classic sort of Sleeping Beauty journal, and then, well, let's say I've been inspired a little bit by the new movie that came out, Maleficent, which I went and saw with my daughter the other day, and I had to do this. I just thought, what would it be like if I created two journals? One would be the human Sleeping Beauty, and the other one would be the Dark Fey Maleficent, but looking at it from a different point of view. So like Maleficent is not really the evil one. Humans are the I mean, I think one knows that really humans are the ones that have the capacity to create a lot more evil than fairies, fairy creatures. So I will start by showing you. I'll start by showing you the Dark Fey, which is this one, and then I'll give you a close up of both of them as well. But let me show you Dark Fey. So this is it. This is the spine. There's lots of gold here, and the back has been, looks like it's seen a lot, and it's kind of weathered and stained and all that. And the front is this beautiful image, and I will tell you in a minute where it comes from, and some borders. And I've put some blue binding here, seam binding. And let's put this down. I think I might give it a little bit more of a close-up. Yeah, there. I think this is a good place for it. Yep, good. Just checking. Okay, the cover is by Edward Robert Hughes, 1851-1914. That was his time, and it's called, the title was Night with Her Train of Stars. But this is night and dark wings and her train of stars is just right from whoever can imagine a Maleficent and the Dark Fey. So she is a queen as well. And let's open it. Now both of these journals have been filled up completely. They're so full. I had so much I wanted to add inside, and well, they'll be full, that's for sure. So a little bit busy and crowded and thick. So this is the first the end pages, and they're fairies, and they're fairies of the forest, as you can see. So I'm addressing Maleficent as a fairy, which is what she was in the story. This is some handmade paper here, and a corner pocket, and I've just tied a little bit of sari ribbon and a crystal bead there that shines beautifully as you move it. And there's a little, like a tab here. Sorry, yes. And sari silk. And some ledger paper. This one is from Pixabay, and it is a magical lake, and that's all it is. It's a vintage fantasy lake with a swan. There's some beautiful paper, golden. I hope the light is good. Let me just see if I can get a bit more light around. Is it? No, this is creating shadows, so it's best if I leave it like that. Got plenty of light from the skylight. Okay. This is a princess. It was looking in the lake. I really cannot remember his name right now, but I've used his images a lot. He's from Norway. And if anybody wants to know, I can find out and let you know. And this is a corner pocket. This is a lovely image. It's The Dragon Prince by Warwick Goebel. So it's called, and it's got the dragon there. So Maleficent would transform. She was a shapeshifter as well. The Queen of Fays, Dark Fey. She was a shapeshifter, so she could transform herself into a flying creature like a dragon. So I've included lots of dragons here because that's part of the story, the myth. It's a very old fairy tale. I think it's just amazing how it's turned out. And here's like something you can remove and write on. Here. Music. These are fairies here, washi, and this is a dragon, gorgeous. That's from Pixabay as well, and it's by a guy called Arti Navarre, or I don't know if it's a guy. Sorry, it's by somebody called Arti Navarre, and it's in Pixabay. And I thought, since the name was there, so, and he's got a Facebook page as well. I just thought it looks amazing in the forest, doesn't it? Beautiful piece of art. Some music paper. This is a lovely medieval looking, style paper here. Corner pocket. There's more of this lovely paper. More of this lovely paper. And another corner pocket here. And some of that sari silk. This is a beautiful fairy image with a lady there with the fairies, little pixies. Now this is a semblance that I made, and I tried to include some kind of part of the story in it. I don't know if it's making sense. We're in the forest and there's a fairy queen, and this is a little window where you can put something in, slip something in from the top. And here's the forest again, and this material is very foresty, and I left this hanging. So it's a nice, I think it's a nice semblance to incorporate here. And there's a bit more of this beautiful paper and some fairies. And this is the cover page again, but I've actually printed it out full because it looks so amazing, and I've kind of taken the blue out through the journal. There's quite a lot of blue and green, and that's thanks, because of this beautiful image here. I was looking as I do usually. I just look and look and look and look, and I cannot decide, and then something happens and I see one image and I think, yes, that's it, got it. There's a corner pocket here, and this is beautiful hair, the hair of the princess. And Sleeping Beauty is traditionally blonde. Okay, this is just a little design on the page. And this is part of the tree from the dark forest. This is an image by Doré, Gustave Doré, and it looks very much like the Maleficent flying. in the dark in the sky. Corner pocket, tuck spot, double one, another one here. There's an image of a dragon again, and this one is a concept art done for Sintero, David Revoy artwork, and I have to obviously again I want to mention it because it's really lovely, and it's in a tuck spot, and in the back one can write. And here's another pocket and another corner pocket. And this is another doré. It's part of a story of Sleeping Beauty, of the story. So it's one of the it's a few images. This is one of the images. This is some silk, sari silk, another tuck spot, and this is a beautiful dragon creature here by Sydney Hall, Draco and Ursa, Urania's Mirror, 1825. This is for the astronomers and the astrologers of our group, of our friends here. This is a side pocket, and I had the thing that slips in, and I was looking for it and I couldn't find it, but I will have it. I'll include it. It's a little card I made. More paper here for writing. This is interesting and quite impressive. It's Jabberwocky by John Tenniel, 1871. Look at that. That's another interesting dragon. And finally, the final page with another dragon here. So as you can see, I've kind of created a mix of fairy, dragon, and human in this journal. Not human, anthropomorphic, let's say, a fairy, and which is what I thought I imagined the Dark Fey is, and there is remorse, and there is love, and there's pain, and there's all that in the story coming from the fairy, the Fey, the Dark Fey, and it is all involved in the story of Sleeping Beauty. If anybody decides to go and see Maleficent, just see number 1 first, because this is a sequel that's just come out. I think it was just beautiful, and the imagery, and I thought Angelina Jolie was just perfect as a Maleficent. I just loved it, really enjoyed it. So yes, so this inspired me to create this journal. Now let's move on to part 2, which is Sleeping Beauty journal. So this one is also a little bit different from your usual sort of Sleeping Beauty journals, because it's got also the mix of the woods and the mix of the mythology and the mix of, you'll see what I mean anyway. And here is the spine, the back, again messed up from time, because it's a very old journal, supposedly an old book. Of course, I made it myself. It's handmade from the beginning to the end. And this bronze, I thought, goes very well with this image here. Let's have a look. It's got this seam binding here, and I have here a knight on the first page, and of course a knight, the prince, whatever you want to call him. And there's some sari, beautiful sari here, a sari embroidered, and it's got these different beads. They are just gorgeous. I've used it before. It's one of the last pieces I've got left, so goes in here, and I created like a kind of a light sack or a pocket, and it can house, I thought it can house lace. There is an image of a castle here. As you can see, there's a lot of deep coffee dyeing on this side. I don't know, some of them have really got depth, and here as well. This image is by Frederick Theodore Lix, between 1830 and 1897. I don't know the exact date. There's a castle. I don't know what that means. And there's a card here to write on. And this is from an old fairy tale book of mine, and I thought I'd attach it because it is my favorite book. And you can see the costumes here are beautiful, and it's Sleeping Beauty. And if some of you might remember Wonder Books, or maybe you're still buying them for your kids, but this is where it came from. And this is like an image of the you know how in the story Sleeping Beauty, in the spell, she is surrounded by all the green, and everything climbs around and encloses her, closes the palace from the forest, and everybody falls asleep. Well, this is the idea I wanted to give here. Everybody's sleeping there. There's another image of a castle. Paper. This is a Sleeping Beauty by John Collier, quite a famous painting of Sleeping Beauty. And this is again this feeling of the greenery that is surrounding her. This is a dulac, if I'm not mistaken, and forgive me if I'm making a mistake. And the paper is all splattered. It looks like it's been splattered with ink, but it's not. It's just the tea dyeing that has, and the coffee dyeing that has done that. Here's another side pocket here. This is Beautiful Princess here, and there's a bit more of that. Again, giving the impression that we're in the woods. I could have spent weeks on these books, but I had to stop. This is by Edward Burne-Jones, Sleeping Beauty. I thought it would be useful as a card, or a bookmark on the book. This is a beautiful painting. This is by a Russian artist. It's actually really, really beautiful. There's a palace here, and things falling to pieces around, and everybody's asleep, and long hair's growing, and beards are growing, and all that. And paper, different types of paper here. And there's a spindle. I was looking for an image of a spindle, but I couldn't find one on its own. So I chose this. It's from a children's fairy tale book, and there's a spindle here, which has metaphorical sense about it, that life moves around and round and on, and it has to do with time, and gosh, a long story. It's a long, we can talk about it for a long time. This, again, you see all the hair has grown so much, and this is by Thomas Ralph Spence, 1855, 1918, and of course it's Sleeping Beauty again, and Among the Roses, which were actually, that's why she was called Briar Rose, I think, and they're all around her, protecting her almost. There's another Sleeping Beauty image here, and a corner pocket. And some more paper paper. It's quite a big box, lots of paper, lots of space to write in as well. So I haven't taken over, but and there's a castle here, castle image, and a music paper, and again almost climbing up onto the page, all the green. And another, I made this semblance for this journal, which is similar to the other one, but a little bit different as well. And again the green, and there lived a handsome prince here. It's a little bit more tidy, let's say, and there's again a space to include a note, whatever one wants. This one is by Richard Elseman, 19th century, late 19th century. And there's Sleeping Beauty again. Look at this. This is just again, I can't get over how they come out, these papers. So this is a side pocket, and I have these cards, these note cards from an old fairy tale. And they're just give me a second. They are by Lucien Pissarro to Charles Perrault cards. They're these cards. So they're from Sleeping Beauty again. And this. And there's a bit more of this frill here. And this is a Nordic, let me see, sorry, look at Nordic, from a Nordic, oh, hang on a minute, where am I? Sorry. This is from a Dutch book, and this was in the cover of my other book, Aurora, but I do love this cover. It's a cover of a book, of a Sleeping Beauty book. It's called Morning Glory, the Fairy of the Dawn. But it looks like Sleeping Beauty. From a Nordic fairy tale. And this is Dulag. Adore. I love that image. And another little tuck spot here with roses. I put this in the end as a book plate, but I left this part alone. And there's the night. So you see this one's also quite a thick one. They're both quite thick. They are sisters. Both sisters. They will be listed on Etsy tomorrow evening, Friday. Today's Thursday and tomorrow's Friday, so so they'll be listed tomorrow. And they obviously, one can have both of them or separate. I'm not going to list them together because some people might want just one or the other, but they are related. They're relatives. I hope you enjoyed this video. I was very inspired, and I really got into these journals, and I had a very good time creating them. And I think you can see that. You'll probably be able to see that, especially when you're holding it in your hand. It feels there's a lot of fantasy and imagination in there, and a lot of my own personality. And I don't know if you care to know that, but there is a lot of me in there. So I hope you have a lovely weekend. I will try tomorrow to upload a crafting video. I still haven't decided what I'm going to do, so bear with me. But because these two completely overtook my week. So we'll talk soon. And I hope you're all having a good week. Over. Thank you for watching this. I hope you enjoyed the story. I didn't say very much because I thought I didn't want to spoil it for people, because maybe some of you would like to go and see the film. Maybe not, maybe yes. But if you are not sure, go and see it. And then let me know what you thought of it. So Okay, so lots of love to all, and bye bye.